Hello, chat. Welcome, welcome. It's your boy, DHan. And what is DHan gonna be doing? We're gonna be doing some VOD reviews. We have, I think, 4 games that we're gonna be looking at. So, without further ado, let's go watch how the Winston does the Winston.
Ready for battle.
Oh. Alright, I gotta figure out who is people with. But I'm sure I can use process of elimination to figure out who is what. Give me a sec. Okay. So this person actually has 2 VOD reviews. That one was an unranked game. Okay. And I also got a RAN gameplay. Check.
Ready for battle.
Spun by Jet. Now this one's a little different since this one is a 6v6. Looks like Spun by Jet is our guy. We go back to the Lijiang Tower.
Ready for battle.
Yeah, it looks like we're playing 6v6. Now, I will say Overwatch is mainly balanced around the 5v5, not the 6v6. So it will be a little bit different in 6v6, but hey, you know, we'll see what exactly can be done for the 6v6 gameplay.
Flattery will get you the grave.
Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Salutation.
Okay. Where we're going.
We'll do it together. Salutations.
Alright, so already, we kind of did one thing that we already, like, kind of messed up. The first thing that you need to remember is, as a tank, you are fighting for space. So, what does that mean? Well, that means when you're coming over here, and you see that their enemy tank is over here, chilling here, instead of you deciding that you don't want to push in and take all this free space, all of this is free right now. So you can push in, and if you take the space, it's going to make the enemy have to use resources, use health, invest things in order to push through it. So if you take the space right here and you just decide to stand here, they're going to have to use a bunch of abilities to try to get past you. But you standing back here will allow them to push on through without really much congestion. So you kind of back off, which again, no reason. This is all free space. You can easily move forward and apply this pressure. But then the second thing you do is you actually drop your bubble. Your bubble's not really doing anything here. There's no one that you need to protect with this bubble. No one's even spamming. There's not like a Junkrat or anyone spamming or anything. So you really could have just played over here, and you could have done the exact same thing with your bubble up here, and that would have done the same value, if not more value, than what you've done over here. I don't expect your bubble to break anytime soon, and you putting your bubble down here kind of is you setting up your home base camp, so you're not able to really move around much. You're not going to have your bubble for 13 seconds, and because you don't have your bubble for 13 seconds, you're not going to be able to move or reposition yourself around for like 13 seconds. Especially if they have something like a Bastion, which, you know, is going to be able to shred you quite easily. Plus, you're right-clicking into a bubble, And yeah, you basically just watch your Reaper die because you're not applying any pressure up there or playing around the cover that I would suggest would be here to really get you guys any kind of like a good foothold on this fight. The same deal, you're using your shield very much reactive. You need to be proactive with your shield. You need to be using it when you jump into the back line rather than just sitting around being full health as you are and deciding you're just going to drop your shield. It's not really going to do a whole lot for you. Because anytime you leave your shield, you're going to get melted. Nice. Okay, that's all right.
Double kills.
Feast.
My power emanates.
Here you go again, just dropping a shield. You didn't even need to do this. This isn't really protecting anyone. You could have just stood here and not used the shield, and there wouldn't be any issues. So yeah, you're just kind of wasting your abilities here. Cooldown management is something that we need to work on. Yeah, because we're just like not using our shield to the best of our ability, we aren't able to be as aggressive, and as a result, we're not able to get primal. If you were a little bit better with your cooldowns, you probably would have been able to get farm primal there, pop primal, and we could have been able to maybe carry that fight a little bit longer. There we are, wasting our shield again, by the way. You see how you like can't do anything after you use your shield? Primal gets you all your health back too, so you should be using Primal when you're lower, just so that you're able to gain that 1,000 resource. It just allows you more time to maximize your value from it. But you not using it when you're low is just... It's not bad, it's just you're not maximizing the full amount of healing that you can restore from it. Plus, Winston overall, unless you're really good at juggling, is going to do more damage with his Tesla gun. Especially if you're going for mass cleave targets. Okay, you had a bubble there. You could have dropped the bubble and maybe grabbed the health pack, but we were a little late to it.
Lesson learned.
Another thing that we need to remember, chat, is Winston's shield blocks healing from most of the support roster. And so if we are able to dive onto people and drop our shield like this, it's going to stop the Ana from healing that Bastion, or from anyone to heal that Ana, really. And that is going to be a big difference between confirming a kill or them being sustained and kept alive.
They can't beat me if I keep on. Group up. Barrier initiated.
Yeah, we've kind of just been watching the fight happen. We're not really making any big decisions. You have to remember that you are the tank, so you should be the one more or less initiating these fights. And you shouldn't just be like watching your team do things and then reacting to it. Yeah, if you were going to use Primal to try to keep the monkey off, you should have popped that a lot earlier than him already jumping to point and then you popping it off. You should have popped it so while he jumped in, he already got moved back. That's okay. We're just kind of spamming our jumps there too. There really was no target in mind on that last one either. You're kind of just like, I have jumps, so I'm just going to jump somewhere. We need to be thinking about what our abilities, what the purpose of our abilities are doing, and why we're choosing to use them when we use them.
Ready for battle.
You couldn't stop Overwatch from getting back together. Now look at us.
You want a medal or something?
Monkey jump, monkey zap. Yep. Ooh, 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 ah, ah, ah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Cool. Yeah, very much you see enemies and you just are like, I'm gonna drop my shield. If you're gonna do this, Reinhardt or Ramatra or Sigma or really any other shield tank is gonna be a better option. Winston's bubble's way too flimsy to be something that is just gonna protect spam, and the cooldown's way too long for it to be something to just protect spam. So you really need to get out of the habit of just dropping your bubble when you see enemies. The bubble is supposed to be offensive. It's supposed to be used to get yourself in there, protect you while you're in there, isolate targets. So like if you jumped on this Juno, for example, you can put a bubble down and now it's like essentially a 1v1 you versus the Juno, because it's supposed to be like the stadium dome, kind of like a Malga ult, where she either has to like run out of it, in which case you're safe sitting inside of it, or if she fights you in it, then like you're protected from everyone else. And you can even shield dance in, so if she's in, you're out. If she's out, you're in, so you're like essentially mitigating as much damage as you can while you're fighting her. But yeah, dropping it like this is going to put you in the defensive. You're not going to have your jump for 13 seconds. Well, you'll have your jump, but you're not going to have your shield for 13 seconds. And because you don't have your shield for 13 seconds, you're not going to really be able to make any big plays, right? Because if we jump anywhere, we're just going to get hooked by the hog, and the Reaper's probably going to kill us, and that's going to be it. So we need to be thinking more about like why we're using a shield when we're using the shield. Even there, shield isn't really something that Winston's taser goes through the shield. So if you're using it 1v1ing a Winston, it's really not a good idea. You'd probably just be better off saving your shield and using it for something else. And then here, it looks like we kind of like overstayed. We have so many targets near us. Your options should have been, you have jump too, by the way. So you definitely could have just jumped this way, get over on this side to chase the Lucio down. Or yeah, realize that you have a Reaper and a Hog next to you, and this is not somewhere where Winston should want to be, and so jump out sooner. But we had jump, so we definitely could have got ourselves out of that situation.
is charging.
Don't let them take what
Alright, going to point was nice here. I don't know if we needed to drop the shield, though, because you didn't plan on staying at this area. So, yeah, if you were planning to go to point to contest it, we need to use this shield on the point so that we're on point as long as we possibly can be. Because here you put the shield down, and then you immediately abandon it. And you abandoning it basically sets you up for certain death here. We could have probably contested that to 50%, maybe even more, because maybe we could have been a little bit more, could have been able to charge that Primal a little bit more, and we would have been able to stall out on Primal even longer if we wanted to. If that was what our idea of a good play was. Okay, this is good. That was good shield dancing. I like that. Okay, you're low. You can pop your... I would have popped your Primal there. Because you're low, so you could have gotten max value to get the full health with Primal. Also not sure why you necessarily jumped in. Maybe you were trying to make some kind of big boot play on Primal, but it seemed a little bit forced. Here we are dropping our shield and then absolutely leaving our shield. So our shield got 0 value there. And even the Primal here wasn't really something that got a lot of value. Kind of just popped it because you were like, yeah, I gotta, I guess.
Performance. Thank you.
I'm seeing a lot of, making a lot of, like, plays, like, doing a lot of things quickly, but I don't know if you're necessarily registering what's all happening around you. It looks like you're kind of just going places to go places. That was a good bubble.
You're a lifesaver. No one can stop me.
Alright, and this is a part where the reason that Reaper got kind of a big Death Blossom ult is because you popped your shield fighting a Juno that didn't need the shield at all. Your team's full health, there's no way your whole team dies to a Juno in a ball. It's like 0 reason that that should happen. So you probably shouldn't have dropped your shield here. That was kind of just silly. And then because you did that, when you come on in here, and now you have no shield, Reaper ends up killing your Lucio pretty quickly. And you're even at 19 health. Because you didn't have a shield. And you probably could have easily just prevented that if you dropped your shield. Instead of using it for a Juno, which you knew you didn't need a shield for. So it's just things like that where we're using our abilities just because we have them, and we're not really thinking too much if the ability is necessary. And I think that is a big thing that could probably help our game. Now, obviously, we won, which isn't, you know, congrats on us, we won. But, yeah, a lot of the issues I'm seeing is a lot of resource management that we're just failing to maximize. Just dropping shields to drop shields, jumping places to jump places, even primaling when it's not necessary. So yeah, I hope that stuff helps with the Winston. Now let's look at the same player, but this is going to be the Ram. Now if I had to guess, it's going to be similar things. We're going to be going into Nemesis form when it's not needed. We're going to be just throwing Vortexes out, probably not comboing that with our Nemesis form at all, really. And I mean, even shields, we're probably just going to be dropping shields up without really thinking too much about if it's a good spot for a shield or not. So, also, you can get a speed boost when you use Nemesis form. So, most Ram players will go into Nemesis form to start because of the slight speed boost you gain. And that may help you get into a better positioning at the start than you would if you, you know, weren't going out of Nemesis form at the start.
Hello.
Well, you gave me a run for my money.
Hello? Where the hell did that go?
Well, you gave me a run for my money.
Oh, okay. It went all the way over there. So yeah, we absolutely, like, whiffed it. It's all the way over there. Okay.
I owe it all to you, Captain.
No, I didn't review the Zarya game. That's gonna be after this one.
Nice work.
Okay, this just looks like the enemy team is basically just staggering, which is good. At least we're taking the space needed. Yeah, I'd say similarly, we're just kind of using abilities when we don't really need to. I'm a scientist in biology. But what we are doing here is, like, you threw down your gravitational pull, or whatever it's called, and then you just, like, stood inside of it expecting that people were going to be slowed and stuff. Try to wait for, like, an opportunity. Like, if you see Lucio, like, wall riding towards you, that would be a good time to, like, pull him down into it. Or if you see Doomfist, like, diving towards you or something, because that will be a good time to stop him. But you're kind of just, like, seeing that you have it and then just, like, using it. And that's not really going to get you a whole lot of value. That's cool too, but the Doomfist is nanoed, so maybe instead of you attacking this Doomfist, we should have actually been punching at the Lucio that was caught in our thing, especially because no one could really stop that. Like, D.Va can't DM that. And we're not gonna kill a Doomfist. Yeah, like that was good.
Hunting them down.
Also, Ram has this cool feature called block when he's in Nemesis form, so you don't have to shift out of it. Because I don't know if you know this, but when you shift into Nemesis form, you get bonus armor, so you have extra health when you're in it. And you're able to block as long as that goes. So you could have easily just stood there and blocked it. Instead, you switch out. You don't have shield in time. So you die. Surprisingly, you don't die because of the shield, though. You die because you don't have enough health. Yeah, I guess you go out of it, and basically because you go out of your form, you have a lot less health, and you just get focused down. But you probably should have just stayed in your form, tried to find yourself some cover, and just hid. What rank? If I had to guess on a rank, I'd say this is probably silver or so. Maybe gold, but I'd say primarily we're looking at probably silver. Yeah. That grenade wouldn't have done anything anyways. You probably should have just poked places. Okay. No better. Alright. So we decided to pop ult when our Sigma already used his ult. So we probably should have waited on that. Remember too, if you use your Nemesis form, you can always hit your ult. That will give you bonus armor back, basically. So you can maximize the amount of health that you would be getting in this ability. You can pop your Nemesis form, lose all of your armor, pop it again, and it will not only keep you in the Nemesis form, but it should also be it will also like give you that extra health, and then be as long as that ultimate goes for. What's up, Messiah? Should Ram be playing low ground because his Nemesis is close range? So Ram's a little bit more of like a poke champ. He's almost kind of like old Orisa in a way, where he kind of just puts his shield up and he pokes. But if the enemy starts getting close to you and you do need extra sustain in a fight, you're able to swap into this Nemesis form to kind of like keep yourself alive even longer, and to perhaps deter enemies from being so close to you. And then, yeah, if they're all close to each other too, your punches are able to collapse people. So if you see like two supports standing on top of each other, you can hit both at the same time. Yeah, so in a sense, he is, like Messiah said, low-key Sig too, because Sigma kind of is the same way. He just puts shield up and he just shoots through the shield. And then with Sigma, if he starts getting low, he has the threat of his rock or his kind of grasp to keep him alive. And Ram's basically like that, but with his Nemesis form. Yeah, like that. That is silly. There's an Ana right here. Why are we not choosing to shoot the Ana? I don't... Okay. I feel like, honestly, every hero is probably going to be better on high ground, so you probably, if you have the option of doing a high ground or low ground on holding a spot, you probably want to end up taking the high ground on holding a spot. And the only reason I would say you probably want to take high ground if you're trying to hold or contest a spot is because if you don't end up holding that spot on high ground, the enemy is going to hold the spot on high ground, and then if you're playing a hero like Ram, you're not going to be able to get to that high ground very easily, so you're probably going to be spending a lot of resources, help, or even time to try and get back to that spot to try and contest the enemy. So I'd say in doubt, you'd want to play high ground over the low ground, especially because it's so much easier to drop from high ground than it is to make your way up to the high ground, if that makes sense. Yeah, and then here... Yeah, here we had 3 seconds in Ram thing. We could have just blocked to try and buy ourselves some more time, and we just decided to keep fighting. You need to remember that while you can be offensive with Ram's Nemesis form, a lot of the time it's going to be just to keep yourself alive, because you are the tank. You're going to be taking a lot of damage.
My resolve threatens. Greetings.
Also, jumping is going to mess up your aim a lot more than it's going to mess up them. So, I would say try to jump less. While that shield dance was cool, you probably could have just hid inside a wall and done the same thing from a safer place and actually probably attacked other people. So, try not to focus too much on the bomb because there's going to be other stuff going on around you.
Annihilation is upon them. I will annihilate their defenses. Join me.
Don't mess with the bit.
You are safe. Take everything from them.
Cool. Yeah, it looks like this is a win. I'm still seeing issues with like resource management. Like you're not using your abilities really the best in rotation. A lot of the time it's going to be you shield to put a wall up first, you'll use your gravitational pull, and then you'll jump into your nemesis form if they're close enough. Other than that, yeah, you should just be poking from a distance like this. Cool. That was a good shield. Swapping into nemesis form here was a little questionable because not only is there really no one around you, but you now don't have nemesis form for 8 seconds, and so you're going to be a lot more vulnerable than someone that does have nemesis form. Should really be used as a last resort to keep you alive, not really going on the offensive, because if you have good aim, you're actually going to be doing more damage in his normal form. The only thing that nemesis form is going to bring you is more health and more burst damage to burst down low targets. But if they're not low to begin with, chances are you're not going to be able to just burst them down so quickly. Ooh, the shield here is good. Nice. I feel like this is console too, chat, but I could be wrong. I'm just seeing a lot of jumping happening. And I feel like that's just something that happens very much so in console, but maybe it's on PC. Could be on PC because the aim doesn't very much line up with console. Yeah, then there again, you just overextended again. Like you're focusing a Doomfist. Did not need to focus a Doomfist. You're getting low. You decide to keep, running at the Doomfist, even though your team is back here fighting like a baby diva essentially and a Mei. So rather than be all the way up here, you could have played back here a little bit more to keep yourself, within line of sight of your team and stuff. Because yeah, over here you're just way overextended. And your team can't follow up on that. You also had ult, so if you wanted to, you probably could have used ult to keep yourself alive longer. But again, probably unnecessary. Just need to keep yourself with your team a little bit more. You just overextended.
A back annihilation is upon them. Tactical visor activated.
And looks like it's going to be another win. Shout out to the enemy team for staggering. Also, just a little bonus fun fact. Snowball is line of sight based. So if you can't see Snowball, like here, you will not get frozen. So, always has been that way. So if you ever feel like Snowball comes down and you're in like this tricky spot, just remember that if you for instance, we're able to crouch behind here or even crouch on this side, you will not freeze to Snowball. So that's a little bonus fun fact. But like I said, hope that helps you guys with Ram. Hope that helps with the Winston. And as always, happy climbing. And we'll look at yeah, so big things, like I said, resource management's a big one. On Winston, it was dropping your shields way too early. On Ram, it's going into Nemesis form way too early, and not really having that sustain for later in that team fights. And then we're overextending a couple times on Ram and dying for that. So now we have a Zarya. Look at. So let me pull that up. So this is Diamond 2. Says, I'm the Zarya. And looks like we're trying to figure out how to close distance into the backline on Zarya, which can be difficult for sure. Felt like we're at 0 value shooting the Ram and needed a path somehow, but was scared. Alright. Dorado. Okay.
Ready for battle.
So Dorado is mainly a dive map.
We're playing around.
So I would say, like, if you're gonna play Dorado, the big people you should be playing on this map are going to be, like, Sigma's good here, but usually it's gonna be the Diva that's really oppressive here, and like even Winston can be good on this map. You don't see it as much on Zarya, but it for sure can help. And high ground is definitely going to be something that's going to help you get into that backline for sure. Just because, again, you're going to be able to path places where the enemy team's not going to be able to really deal with. Nice. The personal bubble. Yeah, first 2 bubbles are just trying to get charged. We could have bubbled our Junkrat there, and that would have, you know, obviously gotten us a lot of charge, but also saved him, so that would have been great for us. Fortunately, he dies. All good. We don't have a Mercy, so there's no way that we're going to be able to call for a res bubble. It's okay. So I guess in the beginning here, I'd rather see a little bit more aggression. I know we lost a pick, but I would rather see you over here. You can't really do anything to contest these people over here. Over here, you're going to be providing a little bit more value. You do have a rotation option out, but as well as 2 bubbles if they do pressure you that hard. But you're also able to look over here and bubble anyone that's on this side that may be needing help. And then if they're on this rotation, of course, you can hit them with a bubble here. I'd probably want you over here just pressuring this backline a little bit more, and even the Freya on this side. Because you are kind of, you playing so far back here is allowing the damage to event basically like walk straight up here and start fighting. I think if you were playing someone like maybe a Diva, it'd be okay to play on this side because Diva can fly over here and pressure them out. But as Zarya, you definitely want to be in a position to pressure them out as they're going. So. Hey, Chow, what's up, Darth? Okay, yeah, we're still down damage, so I'm okay with us backing up. Yeah, unfortunately, this just looks like one of those things where we just, like, never grouped up. But yeah, a majority of this defense has been you more or less dealing with the Winston. I want you to try to apply more pressure on everyone else that's not the Winston. Because we need to get high charge, and the only way we're going to do that is by, like, scaring the enemy into wanting to shoot us more.
Ready for action.
Nice. Yeah, like, even that was good, but it happened way too late, right? if we did this closer to mid when they were rounding the first corner or even the second corner, I think it would have been better for us because we probably would have been high charge. But us deciding to do this so late in this fight has just made it kind of like impossible for us to get any kind of high charge and for us to turn the fight in any way. Yeah, I think it would have been a good idea to do it while down a player. While down one player, it's not ideal, but obviously it can work. When you're down two players, especially when those two players are damaged, you being Zarya is going to be the brunt of the damage at that point, and so you need to be high charge. But like I said, it probably could have been a lot different if we bubbled the Junkrat so he didn't die. Because then he would have been alive, and then you probably would have stayed yourself in an aggressive position. So honestly, it was kind of like a domino effect in this way, where your entire team just kind of fell apart because you lost that one Junkrat because you didn't bubble him. So like it all stemmed with bubbling that Junkrat, which we just didn't. Bubble the Junkrat. Oh yeah. Here, let's go back to it. Yeah, so right here, your Junkrat's right there. You see him on the roof. This is your Junkrat, and you come out here, and you bubble yourself, and then shortly after you bubble yourself, he ends up getting shot by the Freya one time, so he's already half health, and then the Life Weaver shows up, and then he just blows up immediately. And so if you bubbled him there, and then he probably got life gripped away, we'd probably be sitting at 50 charge. And so that'd probably be a little bit better, and then we'd just have to wait on our bubbles a little bit longer. But that would have been a better start to this whole thing. But you being down the Junkrat from this kind of caused everything else to unfold. And so on and so forth. But that's okay. Like I said, it was more of like a domino effect from there. So we'll see how the next fight goes. So they take it.
Much obliged.
Oster Part 2. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Another thing we have to consider is looking at their team. A lot of their team is low damage. You know, a lot of burst, but low damage. So, like Winston, he's not going to be doing a ton of damage. He just has a really high burst combo, same as Genji. And then, like, Lifeweaver and Ana aren't high damage doers either. So, like, the only person that has high burst is the sniper. And because she's a sniper, she's not going to be doing a whole lot of big spamming and stuff. So bubble timing is going to actually be very difficult, and this is a really hard matchup for Zarya. So I would honestly probably not want to play Zarya into this. Like I said, you're on Dorado. Diva would probably be a better option. Even playing, I don't know, someone like Malga, or if you wanted to go like anti-dive like Orisa, I think those would have been better options than Zarya, just because, again, with how their team comp is, it's going to be very tough for her to get ult charge.
Gathering energy.
Okay. Bubble. So 50%'s good here. You have a bubble. You push forward, but you kind of pop a bubble, and you're not even really low on health or anything like that. So of course they're not going to shoot you because they don't think you're low. They don't think you're killable. So this bubble's really bad just because, yeah, they're not able to really shoot you or anything like that. And so you're not able to get up to that 80 charge that we want. You only get up to 70, which is still pretty good, but yeah, they definitely misplayed that slightly. And now that you're down here, you have no bubbles. Yeah, they're gonna fry you a lot more. I'm not sure why we rotated over here and dropped. If I were you, you probably, I don't know if this is in your tech wheelhouse, but you probably could have been able to right-click, jump your way over here, and right-click your way, jump back to here, if you ended up, like, treed off like this. Your other option, this tree's not really, like, pushing you out so much. You probably could have just walked back here and then just used the tree as, like, cover, essentially. Knowing that you're not going to kill anyone in the tree, but this... I don't know what exactly our plan is here, but it looks like you just kind of didn't know what to do, so you just ran. You just were like, I gotta get to point, I guess. And you have a Life Weaver, too, so he can, like, grab you if you're in a tough situation. Nice, nice. That's alright. You guys aren't contesting this point anyways. Just back up, get your bubbles. Try to keep yourself alive. We want 80 charge for this fight, because this is gonna be the most charge we've had yet. Cool. Yeah, it's okay to be up here a little bit more. Alright. Now that we've gotten to 90 charge, let's not be so bubble happy. Because now that we have high charge, we don't need to be bubble happy. We have high charge. So now, our bubbles are mainly going to be for bubbling teammates, to keep them alive, or bubbling ourselves to keep us alive. And that's going to be about it. So if you or a teammate is like below half, and they're still being somewhat aggressive, we're going to bubble. Nice. Yeah, that's okay. We're still in a poke phase, so it's okay. But by the time the Winston shows up, we should have 2 bubbles. Still doing good. Okay, he wasn't low, so why are we bubbling him? Wait until you see like a Freya hit him with her explosive arrow, and then that will give you a cue to bubble. But you shouldn't be bubbling people that are just full health, because chances are they're not going to just take all the bunch of damage all at once. They're going to start shooting people that are getting low. Like, everyone's just going to want to get the kill. Nice, really good bubble.
Give me a challenge.
Yeah, so here, I know it sucks because you like want the Genji dead since you dived your whole backline. But rather than focus on the Genji that's nanoed and dashing around, why don't we go for the Ana that's going to be keeping him up, or the Ram that's going to be pushing in with him? Mainly the Ana, though, since that's obviously their last bit of sustain, since you guys already killed the Life Weaver. You should be... Yes, if he kills 3 people, it's gonna suck. But if you kill the person that sustains the whole fight, once the nano ends, Genji's gonna die anyways. So instead of you focusing all your attention on this dude, you should really be focusing, because you got the Life Weaver and because she's the only option for sustain, and because you know you can't kill a Nano Genji, then... And he probably has the life steal. Yeah, he has the life steal slash too, so he's going to be keeping himself up in that ultimate anyways. You need to be focusing on the Ana so that after the blade ends, you guys are still able to win this fight. Do you think that's valid for most Nano Genji situations after I've used a bubble on a teammate? Yeah. I would say the only other option would be if he, like, somehow was purple before he got the Nano, and he's purple still while swinging on people. Then, yeah, he probably can die. But I would say primarily, as Zarya, your option is going to be probably use, if you have both bubbles, use both bubbles to bubble your teammates so you can get yourself to 90 charge, and then with the rest of it, melt the enemy team. The only other good option would be if you had Graviton and you wanted to catch the Genji in your grab. Which obviously is a little bit tougher, and he can always deflect that into you guys to make it even a bigger play than it is. But yeah, primarily you don't want to be focusing the Genji. You're not going to be able to stop him or kill him. You're going to want to focus on the rest of the team, the squishies that are trying to follow up with him. Because, yeah, he's just way too fast for you. Reinhardt's almost the same way. I'm a Rein main, so Reinhardt's kind of the same way, where if Rein dives... If Genji kind of dives your backline on Rein, there's, like, really nothing you can do. Other than try to, like, fight the other people that are helping him. So Zarya's kind of the same way in that. And you're probably able, at high charge, to do the same amount of damage that a Genji can. Not a Nano Genji, but a Genji in general. And so it's almost like a coin toss on who's bigger at that scenario. Because, yeah, even though you guys eventually got the Genji, you guys have lost this fight since the enemy team grouped up. And the Ram never died because that Ana was alive. And I just want you to know, third point, when the payload is here, is probably the toughest time for them to push. Because you usually have someone that's, like, stopping the payload here, and then your entire team's usually up here just fighting all that. So, you definitely just want to try to make sure that they're not pushing that cart, like, at all through here. I know you're doing a lot of left clicks. I think about Zarya versus Rein matchups. I think it's a little in Rein's favor, but not insane unless a super tight map. It all depends on the high charge. I think Zarya can easily get some bubbles off of the Rein's Fire Strike and then be able to melt the shield. But yeah, if your team's not really good at providing high shield pressure damage to the Reinhardt, then the Reinhardt probably has the favor in most scenarios. Something else I'm not seeing you do a lot on Zarya is left click and then throwing in these right click ults. Not only is it going to... So obviously your left click's good for like consistent damage over a long span of time and tracking people like flyers, but using the right click 1 is going to be a lot easier to hit since it's a splash. But 2, it's going to be AoE, so it's going to be hitting multiple people. So you want to be left click, throwing in left clicks, and then, or holding left click, and then throwing in these right clicks for high burst damage in AoE spots. Especially if you're on something like 2 supports here, you probably don't need to even grab. You probably could have left click, right click, left click, right click, and you probably would have melted them down pretty quickly. Especially in a grab, too. In a grab, with everyone so together, using the left clicks, you're not going to do anything other than focus one single target, and if all supports focus that target too, you're going to be doing no damage. But if you're right-clicking, it's going to be doing, like, I think max charge, I think a right-click for Zarya does, like, 65. No, it probably does 90 damage on a right-click. So that's 90 damage to, like, everybody. So it's like a big burst to everybody, and, like, 3 of those kills everyone in the grab, other than the tank. So try to throw in these right-clicks a lot more. It's not just for long-distance poke. It's something that, like, 2 right-clicks can just kill a Tracer. 1 second left-click on a Tracer, and then a right-click will finish her off, too. Even there, like, you're trying to like focus down that Freya so much, but if you honestly just looked straight at the ground and shot a right click, she would have died because of the amount of burst. But you using that beam for just consistent damage on her is allowing Ana and Lifeweaver to have similar heals to sustain that. The right click's gonna burst them down a lot quicker.
Step right up. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
The payload is moving.
Okay, so obviously we have an attack, so that's good. But yeah, so things that
0 to 3.
general tips are,
Switching sides.
if you have another tank to play, try to play that tank if you know that you're going against a team that's just less spam with damage heavy. So this is mainly like if you're going against a dive comp, Zarya is going to be very tricky. It's not saying it's not going to work, but you have to use a lot more brain power playing Zarya into dive than you do playing like any other tank into dive, because Zarya's just going to get no value against a team that doesn't do a lot of damage, right?
Ready for battle.
Left click, holding left clicks and then throwing right clicks in there is definitely going to help with burst and the AoE if they're in big groups. So make sure we're using a lot more right clicks, because right clicks is kind of our
400 push-ups
quote-unquote
before
finisher
elimination. It works.
damage.
I promise.
Left click's gonna be consistent for damage if you're trying to shoot through a defense matrix, obviously, or burn through a shield, or those are like the 2 main things. Or if you're just trying to do like consistent damage to like I don't know, a tree or Bob or something like that. But yeah, your right click's gonna be what you really need for like bursting someone down real quick. Good.
Area denial.
Yeah, even right-clicking the ram here would be good. Even left-clicking and right-clicking the ram there probably would do more damage than what you did to him there. Damn. Why left click and right click? Why not just right click if it's better because of AoE and burst? The reason you left click and right click is because right clicking takes like 25 ammo, but if you're left clicking, it's going to one, do a little bit of damage to them first, a couple ticks, and then the right click will like hit them like. Okay, so say this is a beam's just consistent damage, right? And then you throw like a right click in there every once in a while. So you'll do this consistent damage, right click, and then you'll go back to the consistent damage. And at the same time that consistent damage is back, that right click will go in, and it'll hit at the same time that beam's hitting. So both of those damage will basically collide at the same time, which will do a bigger chunk of health. Another reason is if you get your ammo, see how your ammo's at 25 right here? If your ammo's at like 10 or 5 or something on the lower, if it's something on the lower end of like 25, your right click will only cost the like 5 ammo or something, but it will still be full damage. So even if you're getting near the end of your beam or your ammo, you can just throw a right click in, and it's gonna be actually more value than what the time duration would be for like 5 seconds of normal beam ammo is, if that makes sense, right? Because I only do like, you know, a certain amount of damage with 5 ammo, but you do a lot more damage with 25 ammo, and a right click is that 25 ammo. So it's just more value if your clip is low to also just right click, because it's gonna do more damage than whatever the remaining of that clip is. But yeah, so I hope that helps with why you want to be doing left click and right clicks. It's supposed to be like, yeah, this thing that just like chunks them down rather than just right click, right click. Also, the fire rate is so slow on your right click, right? Because there's like a 1.5 second time interval, and you're able to left click during that time interval. This is good. That's good pressure. Okay. There is a pedal here. Lifeweaver decided to put a pedal here. So rather than you kind of like, it was good for you to step out here, but you chunked this Lifeweaver and people low. We should take this pedal up to just get us up to this high ground and start pressuring these people out. Because yeah, shooting this ram isn't gonna do anything. So if the enemy team is going to be a bit of a dummy and leave this for you, we should try to take advantage of this as much as possible. Because if you don't, then you will just be sitting here and watching them do everything that they can. But I guarantee you, if you jumped up here and you like left click, right clicked a couple of these guys, they'd probably be dead in seconds, especially if you're at 90 charge like you are. Another reason why left click, right click is good is you can also like shoot your right click behind the ram. So even though he's blocking, if you shoot it behind him, it's gonna still do full damage rather than the 80% damage reduction he gets from blocking. So that will also just whittle him down a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this is a little bit more of like something that you probably should have not been doing. Another thing you could do also is, if you know that this ram's going to be a problem and he's going to be sitting here the whole time, you could just tell your whole team that you're going to go right side, and just your whole team face him right side over here until they push off, in which case someone drops the push cart and you're good. Yeah, but yeah, definitely if they have a Lifeweaver and he's putting platforms like this, try to utilize the Lifeweaver, or even if you have your own Lifeweaver, try to ask your Lifeweaver, like, yo, dude, just put a pedal here, and you can, like, catch the pedal up to get to this high ground pretty easy. Your Lifeweaver probably just doesn't know to throw a pedal over there, and that's okay. Sometimes they don't know to just throw it over there because it's an elevator. But yeah, you can easily ask. He has a pedal, so he could easily just throw a pedal over there and you can take it up and pressure the supports out. He just didn't know that that's probably what you wanted to do. So, probably why this is a bigger issue on the defense. Also, another thing Zarya can do is she can right-click melee at the same time, and right-click meleeing at the same time doesn't slow down her fire rate if she's right-clicking only. So if people are like, if you need to do like a super high amount of burst damage to someone, you can just throw right-click melees out, and it will do a good amount of damage too. But yeah, I mean, there's a pedal right there on the front of payload, so could just take that up and pressure the enemy. That ult, honestly, might have been better if you somehow were able to catch the enemy up here. But yeah, a lot of it is just you don't know how to get up there, and I don't know why, but you're almost like too lazy to just like go take this up here. Like if this isn't working for like 2 or 3 fights, you probably do need to shift it some other way. Yeah, so Lifeweaver is able to cancel the pedals, but if you definitely see it, not all Lifeweaver is going to notice it immediately. So it is something that you could outplay if the opportunity comes. Yeah, or even if you wanted to, I know Ram's playing there, but even if you wanted to, you could go left side, and your team could go under here and over here and pressure the enemy from here. I didn't even know they changed this part a little bit, but yeah. They made this accessing over on this side a lot easier too. And both of those would have indirectly gained you more space, because there's no way a Ram's just going to let the Zarya walk up and pressure you like that. So... Ram. You are definitely right, though. You are just shooting the Ram a lot. And you should not just be brain dead shooting the Ram here. You just, unfortunately, didn't know how to get to the back line. And like I said, I mean, Dorado is more of a dive-heavy map. So playing something like Winston or D.Va would have probably just been easier, because you can get to that high ground easier. But if you are playing someone with and there's a lot of high ground, you do need to try to take those stair routes so that you are able to actually contest the high ground, because otherwise, yeah, the enemy team will just sit up there and they'll get a free win because of it. So yeah, left click, right click combos, try to work on that a lot more. If you just play a couple games in quick play, you'll definitely already see the difference. Especially if you start just right clicking. It's mainly right click melees that you do in the grab, but yeah, if you just start right clicking in your grabs, you'll start to see a lot more confirmed kills in there too. You know, try to focus on those bubbles. Bubble people only when they're low, so that you're not wasting bubbles on full health targets that, you know, aren't going to really be taking a lot of damage. And yeah, try to pressure the high ground out a little bit more. Yeah, hope that stuff helps. Hope it helps you get hopefully into Masters. That'd be cool. And yeah, happy to help as always. Happy climbing. And then I think we got one from a person that's been in our community for quite a bit now, chat. Where are we at? Okay. Gold 3. Watching Nebula. I played Mercy as this is the support character I'm very loving at the moment. Personally, I felt like I did very good with the change between healing and damage boosting in times of need. I did not manage to go for many res opportunities, as if I were to go for it, I feel like it would have put me in a bad position and most likely get myself killed. I felt like I used natural cover in times I needed and kept myself alive well. I just need another perspective of how I play and any changes or things to be recommended. So let's go look at this Gold Mercy. Yeah, man. Have a good one.
Ready for battle.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Alright, let's see how the Mercy. Alright, so obviously, all Mercies should have a game plan going into it, so with this team comp, I would say the person we're probably going to be damage boosting the most is going to be the Hanzo. Damage boosting that Hanzo is going to make sure that he does get one-shot headshots whenever he gets a headshot, so that's going to be massive for Hanzo. And also, you don't really have anyone else that's going to be benefiting so much from long-distance poke like Hanzo, so we should be damage boosting Hanzo as our main target priority. And when we aren't damage boosting the Hanzo, probably healing the rest of the team up. We do have a Juno, though. She has a lot of high healing. And yeah, we should be seeing a lot of dragons because of the damage boost on the Hanzo. So Hanzo should be your buddy, so just follow the Hanzo.
Let's keep each other safe.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. Big Hanzo. Already getting some stuff.
Need some assistance?
Alright, and we've reached our first thing. Could you have stood here and rezzed the Orisa? I'm willing to think you probably could have done that as soon as she died, because the Reinhardt didn't really push in too much. Now, with them pushing in, a little bit tougher. But I think there was an opportunity for a res there.
Sing your strength. I have opened the bar.
Could we have rezzed the Hanzo? Could we have rezzed the Hanzo? Alright, time to play. Could we have rezzed the Orisa? Yeah, we gotta start asking you guys if we could res this. Standing over here, inside 100% cover, may have been able to res the Orisa. Ryan may have pushed in, but we're going to hope that our team is able to pressure Orion to where he doesn't want to push in. Zap has also said that she thinks that we could have stopped the res on the Orisa.
And you are looking at
Pop, thanks for the sub.
I know, right? When they just go LLLLLLLLLLLL or sermon like that.
Hey, Hanzo drag. We just lost our Juno. We probably could have rezzed our Juno, but we're not gonna. Yeah, so rezzing people is definitely something that we need to work on. Because if you're not playing Mercy for the res, you shouldn't be playing Mercy.
Someone call the ambulance.
Because that's like. Res is one of Mercy's strongest abilities that she has. Might be the strongest.
Someone call the ambulance.
Big 10 months, by the way, Corn.
Boosting your damage.
Oh, 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 oh. Oh?
I have low.
Corn, thanks for the gifted sub to Moster.
Someone
Moster being you've been subbed for 16, but this is 10 months in a row of resubscribing. Moster is one of our newest followers. Alright, good heals.
This will help.
Ooh, big dodge on the... Res. Alright, homie, we had a shield up and we could have rezzed that and we didn't.
Heroes never die.
Okay. Yeah, only Forsaken. Only Forsaken has been with the DHan since I think 2021, maybe early 2022. Dang. Big first round. Yeah, I definitely feel like we could res more. I feel like 70% of these times our teammates have died, we probably could have rezzed.
2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
An easy way to figure out if you could res that or not is just play some quick play games and see how far you're willing to attempt to res, and that will give you a good test on just how I guess how dumb enemy opponents can be, because a lot of them do not guard the res. You don't really start guarding reses until like maybe Diamond. Plat might do it too, but usually you can get a lot of reses off in gold and gold up to plat. Looks like our Juno's doing a lot of damage too, so don't really care too much that we're being the person doing a lot of healing at the moment. Oh, come on. That we probably could have rezzed this too by just standing here. Now we do have to watch the Zen, but I'm willing to bet that the Zen's not going to be super aim heavy, and we do have a sim to guard us here. But we probably could have gotten this res too. And you have a Juno for heals.
I'm here to support. Supplying damage increase. Helden sterben nicht. Someone call up when. Heroes never die.
Not gonna lie, Popcorn. I think he actually gets that a lot, and I think he actually changed his name in the Discord at one point for that. Okay, you're homie, you could res the. You're in Valve. You could res your Orisa. It is snowing.
Here to assist. I am taking the objective.
Okay. When Orisa pops ult, we damage boost it, just like when anyone really pops an ult, Mercy damage boosts it. You shouldn't pull your I know that you saw the trap and you wanted to someone not to get hurt by it, but if someone dies in trap, you can probably res it, so it's okay. Not to mention, we haven't used our res, like, at all. Fun fact, Orisa's ult's line of sight based. So, believe it or not, you could have stood here while in Orisa ult, and you could have resed the Hanzo. So, you just need to be... It looks like we're too cautious with the reses. And like I said, if you're not playing... That's a good res. Well, that's fine of a res. Your Orisa died because you weren't really focused on healing your Orisa at the time. So it was kind of like... You got a Hanzo, but you lost an Orisa in this trade. You should have probably res the Hanzo earlier and damage boosted the Orisa, so maybe she got a pick with her ult. That's okay, you have res up in 3. Let's go res them. Res. And they win it anyways. Yeah, we're just missing a lot of reses. I think that's the big issue. Okay, you're kind of stuck on damage boosting your Orisa. You should not be damage boosting your Orisa here. Remember, Hanzo getting headshots is going to just instantly win, and Orisa has a really big headshot, so... Or head hitbox, so Hanzo should be able to nail a lot of headshots on the Orisa, but yeah, you're just like... You're kind of like pocketing your Orisa, but you should be pocketing your Hanzo here. Not to be that guy, but is a damage passive. Oh, that's unfortunate. We lost her. Because of the passive, where if you're not taking consistent damage, you eventually will heal over time, and that's every single hero. You shouldn't necessarily need to jump healing so much to so many people. Instead, you should just focus damage boosting. We also chose to get the heal, I guess, flash heal, rather than damage boost 2 people at once. I do think just because damage boost is like crucial on Mercy, that you should just take the damage boost perk almost always. But perks are for different playstyles, so obviously do whatever works for you. I just feel like it's not something that I would think is huge. There's the flash heal though. I guess you're using the flash shield because you don't use the res, which kind of makes sense. Do not... You get a lot less value whipping the Glock out than you do just damage boosting your entire team to melt the enemy team. I mean, you can either pull the infinite Glock out and shoot, you know, like a person, so that's only one Glock doing damage, or you can give 4 people a 20% damage boost, which essentially is 80% more damage being output. You do the math. What's stronger? I think, personally, it's going to be damage boosting your whole team rather than whipping the Glock out to add one more extra source of damage. And that's assuming that you're going to be able to hit with the Glock. Now we all know Mercy players' aims. They're nothing big. That's why they play in Mercy, Chad.
Surrender to my will.
Yeah, and that's the game. So yeah, I feel like we've only res like maybe 1 or 2 people. Definitely could have gotten a lot more reses. The whole reason people play Mercy is for the res. If you're not going to play Mercy for the res, you should just play Lifeweaver, since he is a preemptive res, essentially, with pulling someone out of a terrible situation. Yeah. Whipping the clock out during Valk's definitely not. I wouldn't say it's it because again, numbers wise, you just do more by damage boosting your whole team. But you do you, however you want to do that. Yeah, I wish we pocketed the Hanzo a little bit more. We did eventually get to tank healing happy, even when we had a Moira on our team, which should be doing the bulk of the heals anyways. So yeah. But yeah, hope that stuff helps, and as always, happy climbing. Chat, that's gonna be it from me. Thanks everyone for coming out to another DHan VOD review session. Trying to keep it short, simple, and sweet, as this is going onto the YouTube for looks like to be about an hour and a half. Feel free to watch these back if you want to. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on Twitch for 14 days. And I will see you guys all in another one. Toodles.